So food prices are going crazy.
So can you really save any money? Hi, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
From Under the Median. So let's talk food prices, guys. This has been quite the conversation in the comment section of the channel for a little while now. So we wanted to kind of weigh in on the craziness of the food prices and kind of give you our take on whether it's actually still possible to even save any money right now on food. And if it is possible, how do you do it? So this is where we get really transparent with you guys, because we are going to show you in this program exactly what we have spent on food in the last 10 months. And we're going to reveal whether we actually spent more or less money than we did in 2020. So first, let's talk in general about the food prices. It depends a little bit on what you're looking at, right? I mean, I think fruits and vegetables have gone up a little bit. What I've noticed really, and I've heard, is meat has skyrocketed. Y'all will have to tell us, because we're vegan. So the truth is we're just not as cognizant as you guys are as to exactly what meat prices have done.
Well, any meats that they get packaged in from local farms are going to be in good supply. It's the prepackaged meats that come from large companies that's coming up in short supply.
That would probably, as we start off the conversation here, and it is conversation, guys, we'd love to hear from you in the comment section. Really figuring out who your local farmers are, I think that is going to be just huge going forward. I think you have to know how and where you can locally source some of these things. How bad is it going to get? Well, we don't know. And, how long is it going to take to sort out this mess?
I really think this is going to be, I think this is going to be a short-lived thing. I don't think it's going to be long-term. It may get a little worse before it gets better, but I really don't think that this is going to be a major long-term issue.
Well, let's take a look at our food budget and what we did in 2021. So our food budget in 2020, in case you're wondering, now all four boys were still at home at that point, was $400 a month. And we overshot that by about $25 a month. So $425-ish is kind of what we ended the year with. Well, when 2021 hit, I said, you know what? We got to be able to do better than this. We cannot have a repeat of this going over in the grocery budget. And so I lowered the grocery budget to $300 a month. So, and this, Larry's going to recreate. What look did you give me when I told you, yes, there was an audible gasp.
$300 a month. Oh,
that's exactly what he said.
I thought I'd be harvesting grass out of the backyard to eat,
So I assured him that I thought I could do it. So basically, I decided that I would try to get under $300 a month. I did not tell Larry that I was doing this, guys, that I was shooting for under $300 a month. I wanted to see if I could get closer to the $200 a month range, just to see how close I could get. So I budgeted. And if you follow it all the way across, look in July, you see that huge spike. Yeah, that's where we went.
That was an Amish store run.
Store, yes. And then you see a huge spike again in October, and that was
another Amish store run.
And so those were our bulk food buys. Those are those spikes that you see. We did eat an awful lot out of the freezer as much as we could to try to eat down some of the stuff that we had, stores of food we had in the house already. And at the end of the day, you will see that if you count the CSA amount of $40 and the regular food expenses, $217.49 a month was what we wound up spending. So even I was surprised. And did you feel surprised by that?
I shocked more than surprised. Yeah, that's good. I don't think we've had a food budget that low in years. I can't remember the last time we came even close to that.
I should go back and look. Our two oldest sons did move out, and that really helped lower the food budget. And then we also, because we just want to be really transparent, I do a little bit of work through the growing season for a local farmer, and in return, he pays me with food. So we receive produce every week through about 24 weeks of the growing season.
That helps
and
immensely.
so that does help. But
Yeah.
you know what? So that's going to become one of our tips. We're going to give you our top 10 tips, guys. So we want you to hang in there with us through these 10 tips, and then we have like a way special announcement toward the end of the program. So we want you to stick with us. We're going to give you the top 10 things that we really focused on doing this year in order to get the grocery budget that low. The first thing is
Glean free food.
And of course, an example of that is the fact, now I worked for it, but I worked a couple of hours a week doing some online type stuff for the farmer. And in return, he gave me a bushel basket of food basically every week for 24 weeks. But that's an example of look around. Is there something you can do for somebody in which you can barter for some food? Is there a local farmer that if you go out there a couple of hours a week, do some work for him, do something so that you can be paid in food? We have friends that garden and they look at us and say, hey, I have some extra. And that's about as far as they get before we say,
Sure, we'll take it.
yeah, exactly. So our rule of thumb has always been if someone offers it to us, we take it. And we either use it or we preserve it for later use. Y'all know, if you've watched for any length of time, I don't can. So my hat is off to those of you who do can. It's not my thing. I've tried it. I freeze stuff, and I also dehydrate some food. But we try to preserve it. If we're not going to use it right away, we preserve it for later use. Community gardens, another great way to maybe glean some free food. A lot of community gardens, they'll have like a special day where they'll have food out for members of the community, and you can come and each person can get like a bag of produce. And if you volunteer for that community garden, a lot of times they'll offer to allow you to glean some of the produce. We mention this because one of the questions we often have is from people who say, but I live in an apartment, so I can't have a backyard garden. I just don't know what to do. So that's our advice, is look around, find a community garden, volunteer, and I guarantee you they're going to give you some produce for absolutely free. And then the last gleaning we wanted to mention.
So food banks are another way that you can glean some food. Now, our church sponsors a food bank once a month. They pick up food at a large retail outlet. What is it? It's Midwest Food.
Midwest Food Bank.
Yeah, Midwest Food Bank.
Huge organization.
They offer our church to pick up free food. It's a lot of extra food that's been donated to them by large grocery stores like Kroger. It's stuff that they just can't sell. I guess you could call it surplus food. So once a month we have people that can, take advantage of that. And that is one way that you can kind of help out your food budget, is to take advantage of some food banks.
Now, if you go to a food bank, you're not getting any grief from us at all.
No.
I think we're all in a journey. And then I think there's sometimes when you think I need a little extra help. And if that comes in the form of your family visiting a food bank, then we think you should do it. We think you absolutely should take advantage of that if that's something that's going to prove to be helpful to your family.
And what could be helpful for them is maybe volunteer some time and help out on it. There's a lot of work to putting on a food bank. And in the past, we've also helped unload the truck and process the food, divvy it up into smaller bags and so on to be passed out. So that way you're participating in the food bank and you're also gleaning some of the benefits from it.
Look for things like that in your community and then help them out and then take part if you need to.
Yeah.
All right, tip number 2, guys. Tip number 2, that is used to use the same main ingredient for multiple dishes. Now, we did this consistently through the past 10 months, and it really, really helped to reduce our food budget. Now, we're going to give you 2 specific examples. I got a huge, and I do mean huge, organic cabbage at the farmer's market last year. It was a 7.5-pound cabbage.
Wow.
And it was $2, guys, $2 at the farmer's market. So, don't discount your local farmer's market. There are some ways in which it can be a little more expensive, but boy, when you hit those deals, it's a deal. Both of the examples that we're going to show you actually were food from the farmer's market. So I got this 7.5-pound cabbage. I'm going to show you. I cut it up, not wasting anything, and I made 5 different main dishes out of that cabbage for our family. It fed our family for a week. And I actually did a cost breakdown. If you want to see the details of every single recipe that I made with that 7.5 pound cabbage, I broke down detailed examples of exactly what each ingredient cost me and what the whole week's menu cost me. And there's a link to it in the description of this video. I wrote that up and it's on the website.
And as I recall, that wasn't even near St. Patrick's Day.
It wasn't, which was weird. I mean, so that would be definitely another example, and we're going to get to that in a sec to help you to save some money.
Hope made several dishes from this huge cauliflower that we got from the farmer's market. It was really good. I don't know how many meals did you make from that?
4 or 5. And
Yeah,
I
it was a
actually
lot.
I wound up blanching some of it and putting it in the freezer for later use. So, buy cauliflower the size of your head. That's the, and I think it was, it was $3. I think
That
he had a
sounds
sign
about
said
right.
cauliflower, $3. And Larry's like, we're getting that one. It was the biggest one of the whole bunch. And boy, we got several different dishes out of the cauliflower.
And that's the advantage of going early in the morning and doing your shopping, being there early. Yeah.
All right. Tip number 3, buy markdowns. What the heck are supermarket markdowns? Larry's going to tell you, and I'm going to hold up an example.
Well, Hope has found a local Kroger store that does a fabulous job of marking down items. And she picked up, how many of these did you get this week? About 4? 4 of the, what is this, the stir fry?
Yep.
Then you got a bunch that were salad making materials.
kits.
And I think you got about 9 of those. And they were all about this price, about
They were all
99
99 cents.
99 cents.
So and normally this is $4 or $5, guys. So this is the stir fry kit. And yes, I know some of you are going to say, why is she buying?
And we had
pre-made
some
vegetables?
tonight. We had some tonight of that dish. I should have took some photos of it.
Normally I don't buy pre-made vegetables, but when it's cut up like that and it takes me 5 minutes to make supper and it's 99 cents, I'm going to buy it. Here's another couple of examples. This is plant-based cauliflower dip. Mm-hmm. And this is tofuti. This is plant-based sour cream. All right, you guys who are vegan like me, you're going to know that this is a fantastic price for this tofu.
$1.39.
I got a whole
what
bunch
was
of
the
those.
what was the other one? Because I didn't zoom the camera in. 99 cents.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, so that was
99 cents
99
on that.
cents. So I got 4 of the plant-based cauliflower dips. And I think I wound up buying about 12 of these. Now, why would I buy 12 of them? Because, you know what? This is a tofu-based product, and I've stuck about 8 of them in the freezer. And I'm going to use them later on for some kind of recipe.
A question that we often get, and this is a little controversial. I think some people have some pretty strong opinions on this. But are items that are past the used by sell date, are they good? Are they still good to eat?
Yes, they're still good to eat. All right, so I'm going to read to you directly from this flyer. This was from the food bank that actually supplies items for our church, but they got the information from the USDA guys. All right, so in fact, Larry can read it. Here you go, Larry. Tell them what sell by and what best if used by date means.
Okay, so these are categories for dates, the type of dates, not the kind you do with your wife. But anyway, sell by date tells the store how long to display the product for sale. So that doesn't mean it's going to go bad right away. It just means that they need to be off sale by that time. Best if used by or before date is recommended for the best flavor or quality. It's not a purchase or safety issue. It's just a matter that the food's going to be at its very best before that date.
Okay, one more term, guys. One more term.
Used by. The used by date is the last date recommended for the best quality.
All right. Thank you, Larry. All
You're
right.
welcome.
That was right from the USDA, guys. So yes, just because something is past that use by date or that sell by date does not mean that it is bad. It just means it's past that date. It's an arbitrary date, guys. So yeah, you can still eat it past then.
Mm-hmm. Tip number 4 is watch for sales and combine them with coupons when you can.
All right, sales. Guys, you got to know where to look on the sales flyers to find what we call loss leader items. Loss leader items are?
Those are items that they're being sold under the amount that the store can make a profit from.
Now, a lot of times you see those items, there'll be special sales. You got to go on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday and use a coupon for them. Sometimes they're just in the sales flyer and they're low priced. A great example of this, Larry mentioned it just a little while ago. You're going to find the lowest price per pound on cabbage when? Right before
St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. You always know. Look a week before St. Patty's Day, and you're going to find cabbage marked down to about 39 cents a pound at the grocery store. That's a great example of a loss leader item. Why do stores use them?
Well, they want to bring customers in. I mean, that's the bottom line. And they're hoping that customers will do more shopping there and pick up other items and make up the loss for the item that they're buying that the store is losing money on.
So where do you find those? Most of the time, you're going to find them on the front or the back of the sales flyer, and every once in a while, right in the middle. Stores have gotten really sneaky, guys. I know it's hard to believe, but they have started putting like fruits and vegetables that are on sale, like right in the center of the flyer. So you have to flip through the flyer to see the produce. Yeah, I've noticed it. I don't know if anybody else has or not. Tell me in the comment section. But right in that middle section, sometimes you will find an unbelievably good deal on a fruit or vegetable. But now it's not necessarily going to be on the front of the flyer. You may have to go to the center of the flyer.
So you got to get past the soda pop and the Fritos and the Lay's potato chips to get to those items.
Thank you, Larry. And that's a great lead in for what I really wanted to say. This is like underneath of this tip, guys. Look, junk food is junk food. And it doesn't matter if it's high priced or if they put it at an unbelievably low price, it's still junk food. The only thing that's changed is the price, not the content.
Yeah, but you still can't just eat one Lay's potato chip.
Yeah, well, so we should not be eating any Lay's potato chips. Now, I'm not telling you what to eat or not eat, but I'm just reminding you that just because something is on sale at a great price doesn't mean you have to buy it.
Right.
Especially if it's food that's just not really that good for you.
We would recommend that you would buy real food that's going to nourish your body.
Why? Because it's going to keep you fuller longer.
Yeah.
And that is exactly why we tell you buy real food.
And most of that food is cheaper or less expensive than the junk food.
Now, you mentioned coupons, Larry, and that just slides right into our next tip.
Well, use coupons and cashback apps.
All right, we're going to give you a list of apps, guys, and then I'm going to tell you there's going to be links to every single one of these apps in the description of the video. Just look under recommended resources from this video. You're going to find them right there. The first cashback app we use
is Ibotta.
Ibotta.
That mean Ibotta or you boughta?
Yeah, I always boughta. You just pay ya. All right, so listen, Ibotta has a really great deal right now, and this is why I put it front and center right in front of you. They are offering to give you 100% cash back on pretty much everything you need for a Thanksgiving dinner. They're going to pay for your turkey. They're going to give you cash back 100% on your stuffing, on your cranberry sauce, all kinds of stuff in there, guys. But it's a limited time deal. So I want to make sure that if you don't have Ibotta, that you catch that link right there in the description of the video, because it's an app. You put it right on your phone. You got to click ahead of time to tell them you're going to buy those items, and then they're going to send you the entire amount of cash back. So it's actually pretty cool.
Another app is Receipt Hog. Now, how does that one work?
Well, Receipt Hog is very similar to Ibotta, except that they don't tell you what to buy. All they want are your receipts. Look, they just want info from your receipts. So it is so easy to use, and that's why I put it on here. Some of you told me about it. I did not have it, and it was some of our viewers had said, what? You need Receipt Hog. So I got it, guys. Thank you for telling me about it. I actually really like it. It's super easy to use. You just snap a photo of your receipts after you get back from the grocery store, and you accrue points. And once you get to a certain number of points, that translates into cold hard cash for you.
Wow, yeah. That is good.
Pretty nice.
So what's the next one there, Hope?
All right, that's Rakuten. Rakuten is formerly Ebates, and I'll have a link for that. They deal in a whole lot more than just food products. They have rebates available on a number of different areas on your online shopping, and they send you cash back in the mail. They just send you a check, which is really, really nice, and I like them a lot.
Honey?
Yes, Honey.
Yeah.
Honey is the next app. So the next two, Honey and Cooper, both of those are browser extensions. You shop like normal online, and then before you check out, they're going to go through and they're going to check coupon links for you to see if anything in your cart has a coupon which applies to it and help you get money off of your purchase. I put those in there because they are cashback apps, but not necessarily a lot of food products related to those. But since we're talking cashback apps, I wanted to make sure they were all in there.
Do you realize how much easier that is than what you used to do with the big filing cabinet thing that was full of coupons, all categorized? And then you would spend hours cutting those things out and putting them in this category and that category. And then when we went to the store, oh my gosh, I hated shopping back in those days.
You still don't like shopping.
But I do like eating.
So yeah, I know. Then can we say thank God we're digital now? That's just like huge.
Oh yeah, that does make a big difference.
All right, tip number 6. This is a 6th thing that we have done, and just to review again, these are things that we have done strategically and consistently throughout 2021 to massively drop our grocery budget. Number 6 is
creatively serve leftovers.
Are my leftovers creative?
I think so.
Thank you. That's very nice to know.
Yeah. There's a wide variety of things that she does with food. Yeah.
I'm going to give you some super specific examples just to sort of get your creative juices running, so to speak. Yes, that was a food pun. You know, here's the thing. I think we looked at leftovers. Leftovers seem incredibly uninspiring to us, but I think if you just sort of switch your brain around to how can I creatively use them, it makes a huge difference, not only in your attitude toward leftovers, but what you're able to do with them in order to stretch your food bill. All right, so here are just some quick ideas for leftovers. You got a little bit of leftover veggies or some leftover sauce, maybe some leftover gravy. Not enough for everybody, but just a little bit of leftovers. So you got some leftover sauce. You're going to add some veggies to it, maybe add a little fruit juice to it, add a little something that's going to stretch it a little bit further and maybe make it a little not quite as thick. Then you're going to take that mixture and you're going to pour it over toast. Or you're going to put it over rice. You're going to put it over potatoes. You're going to put it over pasta. So you're going to put it over the top of something in order to stretch that little bit of something left over to serve your family for a whole nother meal.
Yeah, and we do that quite regularly.
We do.
The next item you can do is roll up leftover rice or beans in tortillas with salsa and a few veggies for lunch the next day.
Yep. All right, here's the third idea for creative leftovers, guys. We're just sort of getting you rolling, all right? You can top toasted corn tortillas with any number of things, leftover rice, vegetables, beans. You're going to make it like an open-faced sandwich with them. It's like tostadas.
And they almost,
so easy, so
They
good.
almost look like little miniature pizzas.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
And another idea is
to pull out all of the leftover veggies and make soup once a week.
we call it kitchen sink soup. Anybody else make that once a week? It's a great way to use leftover veggies so that they don't go bad and wind up in the garbage. Okay, here's another idea. Has anybody ever heard of Cincinnati three-way chili? Give me an amen or something in the comments if you know what I am talking about. If you're from the Midwest, you know what I'm talking about. This was famously served by a restaurant chain called Steak and Shake. All right. So Cincinnati three-way chili is take your chili and you serve it over the top of spaghetti. That's two-way chili. You want three-way chili, you're going to pour yourself some cheddar cheese over the top. Not us, though. If you want four-way chili, you're going to add some diced onions to the top. And if you want to make it five-way chili, five-way, Larry, then you're going to put some beans with the whole thing. And that is going to be Cincinnati five-way chili. That's how you're going to take that little bit of chili and you're going to spread it out so that you can feed your entire family with it.
The next thing you can do is add a weekly potluck meal.
The kids used to love it when we did this, except I don't think it ever actually turned into a free-for-all. So we would, especially on Sundays when we got back from church, then we would just unload the refrigerator and we'd have, like small amounts of things left over. Like the whole tabletop would be covered. And we were like, okay, kids, it is potluck Sunday with just us bringing the potluck food. And, you go in and you just pick what you want. So I don't think we ever had, any arguments break out over who wanted what. They
No,
were actually
usually,
pretty good about it.
usually there wasn't enough of one item to feed all 6 of us. So the food just kind of got divided up. We usually let the kids choose what they wanted first, and then we took what was left over. But it worked out fine. And
Prayed ardently that there was food left over for us.
well, it cleaned out the refrigerator and saved us from throwing out food.
Yeah, and the kids, have you ever noticed that if you call something like a creative name, like Potluck Sunday, the kids are like, ooh, this is really fun. It's not leftovers. No, don't call it leftovers. Call it something else. And all of a sudden your family will be vying to get in line to eat your Potluck Sunday noon dinner. Okay, one more idea for leftover, guys, and then we're going to move on to tip number 7.
Well, you can layer rice or toasted bread cubes in the bottom of a bowl before adding soup, just to make it go further.
So yeah, think in terms of doing that. Now, tip number 7, I promise, guys, we're moving along.
Well, if you go meatless, at least once in a while, maybe a couple times a week, that will save you money because it seems like meat is the item that's going up the most in price right now.
And we're not going to lie, guys, being vegan really does save us a boatload of money at the grocery store. Now, if you eat meat, you're not going to get any grief from us, but we are going to tell you that if you want to save money on your grocery bill, giving up that meat a couple of times a week is going to be a real good thing for your food budget. And you can stick some real super healthy vegetables and stuff in there instead of the meat. All right?
And we've touched on this many times, but if you buy in bulk, you'll save a lot of money. All you got to do is do the math. Now, one way we save a lot of money on buying in bulk is that we use oats for our breakfast cereals. So we don't buy Rice Krispies, Cheerios, Wheaties, and on and on. We don't buy those cereals. We eat oatmeal or cream of wheat or the corn grits. We talked about that. We get those from the Amish store. We buy it in bulk. Much cheaper to eat that way than it is to buy the processed foods.
And always, once again, do the math. We actually did a video on a recent haul, a bulk food haul from the Amish store. Mm-hmm. I'll link it in the description of the video, guys. We actually made a mistake unknowingly in purchasing something thinking it was the lowest price per pound we were going to be able to get it. And we got home, we realized it would have been cheaper to buy it someplace else. So that happens to all of us. But that's why every time we tell you to make sure you do something, it's because we've done it. So buy in bulk, but make sure you do the math to make sure you're getting the best price possible. Number 9.
Well, and you want to check out all your options too. That's for sure.
Okay, guys, tip number...
How many fingers do you have?
I don't know, Okay, guys, tip number 9. Tip number 9 is to make sure that you are menu planning. This is something I consistently did in 2021. And what it forced me to do was to look at what I had on hand, what I already had in the house. Mm-hmm. Guys, we spend so much time going to the grocery store, buying food that we really don't need. And the problem is when you buy food that already duplicates what you have at home, if you're on a tight grocery budget, you get down to the end of the month and you got $5 left and realize you're all out of milk. And you got to figure out how you're going to buy milk with that $5 because you should have been buying milk instead of what you were buying. So make sure you know what you have on hand and then menu plan using what you have in the house. We got a couple of websites we absolutely love. We want to give a shout out to will be super helpful for you guys in planning your menu with things you have in the house. Those websites are
allrecipes.com and supercook.com.
We've mentioned Supercook before, and several of you have said that you checked it out, and it was super helpful. So Supercook, give it a check. So know what you have on hand, and be sure that you're menu planning. Those were tips number 9 and number 10. Guys, we've been watching the comment section. I know that this whole thing of the grocery prices going crazy is something that's weighing a little bit on a lot of your minds. And it is on ours too. It's alarming to see prices fluctuating to a degree that we've never ever seen them before. And I wanted to be super helpful for you guys. So this is the special announcement that I told you to make sure that you're staying tuned for. I have never ever done this before, but I have put together a library of 15 e-books. I'm calling it the Ultimate Grocery Saving Library. Those 15 ebooks, I'm going to have them on sale, and it's only going to be on sale at a special low price for Black Friday weekend. And if you want to get on a special list that I have of people who really want to make sure they don't miss seeing that information when it becomes available, there's a link once again in the description of the video to sign up for the Black Friday wait list.
And hey, we just did a series of 3 videos on how to stock your pantry for emergencies. And we have it right over there. That should be the next video you should watch.